The phone rang loudly in my living room, echoing across the wide walls of my ranch house. I had just come back from feeding the horses when I picked it up, expecting it to be a neighbor or maybe my sister. Instead, it was a voice I didn't recognize. A man's voice, cold and sharp. "Mr. McAllister?" he asked. "Speaking?" I said, wiping my hands on my jeans. "This is Attorney Graham Fields. I represent Mrs. Lorraine Bartlett. She's requesting that you vacate your property within 30 days. Her son, Tyler, needs it urgently for his future family. You are not being given a choice. We are prepared to take legal action if necessary." I nearly dropped the phone. "Excuse me?" I asked, thinking I had heard wrong. "You heard me. Mrs. Bartlett's son is getting married next month. They've decided your ranch is best suited for them. They expect you to move out peacefully. Otherwise, we'll move to evict you." I stood there stunned, staring at the dusty boots by my door, trying to understand if this was some sick joke. "My property isn't even in an HOA," I said slowly. "According to Mrs. Bartlett, the original deeds are being reviewed. She claims the land falls under their association's rights. You'll be hearing from us officially soon," he snapped before hanging up. As the dial tone buzzed in my ear, I turned toward the big window facing the pasture and saw Lorraine Bartlett herself, short with meticulously styled blonde hair, strutting onto my land in a pink jogging suit and clutching a clipboard. Two men in suits followed her, surveying my barn like they already owned it. I dropped the phone on the couch and stormed outside. "What do you think you're doing, Lorraine?" I shouted. She smiled, all sugar and poison. "Just checking the property for future improvements, Sawyer. You'll be out soon enough. Best to make sure everything's ready for my Tyler." One of the suited men began marking things down, the barn, the stables, even the well that had stood since the 1800s. "Stop right there. You're trespassing," I barked. Lorraine chuckled and pointed to a shiny sign she'd planted by the driveway. "Future home of Tyler and Madison Bartlett." Before I could even form a response, a pickup I didn't recognize rumbled up the driveway. Out hopped Tyler himself, slicked back hair and a cocky grin, holding a sparkling engagement ring box. "Sawyer," he called out like we were buddies. "Appreciate you clearing out for me, man. Madison and I owe you big time." I froze. I had never agreed to give up my land. Hadn't signed a thing. But Tyler was walking up to me like he expected a handshake. I clenched my fists, fury mounting. Before I could speak, Lorraine snapped her fingers. The suited men started heading for my front door. I sprinted toward the porch. Tyler and Lorraine shouted after me about family legacies and new beginnings. But I was focused on the door creaking open. "Get away from my house," I roared. The suited men froze. One had his hand on the knob. Lorraine waved him on with a smirk. "She doesn't own this house," I shouted. "You're trespassing. This is illegal." The shorter man mumbled about surveying rights. I slammed the door shut and stood firmly in front of it. "You step 1 foot inside," I warned, "and you'll regret it." Even Lorraine looked surprised. Tyler shrugged. "Don't make this hard. We'll give you 2 weeks to pack." "You have 30 seconds," I said coldly. "Get off my land before I call the sheriff." Lorraine gasped. Tyler laughed. "Go ahead. Sheriff's in our pocket." I pulled out my phone and began dialing. Lorraine's smile wavered. The suited men shifted nervously. "Fine," Lorraine snapped. "We'll go. But this isn't over." They stomped off. As dust from their cars settled, I finally exhaled. Horses grazed peacefully by the stable. But I knew it was just the eye of the storm. I needed a plan. I began taking photos. The sign, tire tracks, even the blueprints left behind. If Lorraine wanted a fight, she'd get one. Legal, smart, and bulletproof. I locked every door and window that night. My gut screamed something worse was coming. Then came a text from an unknown number. "You can't stop us. Tyler deserves that ranch. Prepare to lose everything." I slept with a shotgun beside my bed. The next morning, I headed straight to the county records office. The clerk, Meredith, handed me a thick file. The original deed. My name, no HOA, no restrictions. I wasn't crazy. Then Meredith said something that chilled me. "Some lady came by this week asking about transferring property deeds. Strong perfume, fancy clothes." "Lorraine," I muttered. I told her no way. Meredith said. This is America, not a banana republic. I thanked her and left, a spring in my step. But my phone buzzed again. Think a little paperwork will save you? We're already working on Plan B. Back at the ranch, a moving truck blocked the driveway. Lorraine held a banner, "Welcome home, Tyler and Madison." Tyler grinned. You're just in time to help us unload. What part of no don't you understand? I said, showing the deed. We control water, road access, permits, Lorraine sneered. We'll make living here impossible. Boxes were unloaded. My blood boiled. You're trespassing. Every step is a crime. I recorded them, loud and clear. Daniel laughed. We'll just say you invited us. That was it. I walked back to my truck and called the sheriff. Carter answered. I need deputies here now. Trespassers trying to move into my house. 15 minutes later, sirens cut through the silence. Lorraine dropped her banner. Carter watched the video, then turned to her. You need to leave. Now, or you'll be arrested. Lorraine sputtered. Tyler backed off. The movers packed up in a hurry. This isn't over. Lorraine yelled as she drove off. Carter clapped my shoulder. You've got the law on your side. But the next day, a man in a hard hat showed up. Here to shut off your water. Non-payment of HOA fees. I'm not part of the HOA, I said. Talk to the board. You've got until the end of the day. I raced to the HOA office. The receptionist handed me a forged document, a shaky signature claiming I joined the HOA. I stormed into the boardroom. Lorraine was mid-laugh. This, I said, slamming down my deed, is the only real document here. You're trespassing. Lorraine smirked. I'm recording all of this. Forgery's a felony. The board panicked. Mr. Jenkins, a longtime member, looked horrified. Lorraine, is this true? He's old. Confused, she said. I laughed. Want to test that in court? They reversed the annexation fast. Lorraine's signature trembled on the form. You'll regret this, she hissed. I already regret trusting you to stay in your lane, I replied. Back home, the water stayed on. But a sheriff's cruiser showed up that evening. Carter handed me a summons. Lorraine was suing me for emotional distress and interfering with property transfer. It's nonsense, Carter said. You'll win. But that wasn't her goal. She wanted to wear me down. In court, I stood tall. Presented evidence, videos, deeds. The judge was stern, unimpressed by Lorraine's dramatics. Case dismissed, she ruled. Mr. McAllister, if you wish to countersue. I looked at Lorraine, beaten and bitter. No, Your Honor. I just want to go home. Outside, the sun shone. I felt free. But on the porch sat a stranger. Sawyer McAllister? He asked. Yes. Trevor Lang. Developer. Lorraine promised me this ranch. I'll offer you $500,000. No deal. Everyone has a price. Mine's not for sale. He left a card. I watched his SUV vanish. That night, dogs barked wildly. 2 men tried to torch my barn. I fired a warning shot. They fled. Carter collected evidence. They're getting desperate, he said. I reinforced everything. Cameras, locks, more dogs. Then came an eminent domain letter. The county claimed my ranch for public development. I stormed into the land office. This is illegal. You'll be compensated, the director said with a smirk. I gathered proof, history, ownership, community ties. Took it to the local news. Reporter Abby Collins ran the story. It went viral. Protests erupted. Save Crescent Ranch trended. The county folded. The claim was dropped. Trevor lost contracts. Lorraine left town. One day, a woman in a luxury car arrived. Madison. Daniel lied. I'm sorry, she said. She handed me an envelope. A gift from my father. Inside, a $750,000 cashier's check. No strings. For justice. I kept the ranch. Used the money to build something better. Whitestone Acres, a training center for ranchers, veterans, and those needing peace. Kids rode horses. Laughter filled the air. Carter visited. You really did it. Trevor's done. Lorraine, too. I smiled. It's more than land. It's legacy. And I'd fight for it. Forever.